Hi students, a hearty welcome once again to this online mode of learning. I hope you know that we are almost finished except for 2 units. We are almost finished with all the lessons that are found in your textbook, whether it is prose or poetry. And I hope that you have gone through them with inverted commas. If not, please go through them. Soon I will be taking them off from YouTube. Now, let's go over to the next aspect, next part of our syllabus, that is grammar. Because 50 marks are meant for your prose and poetry, and another 50 marks are meant only for grammar. Hence, it's very important that you learn both and balance both to get good marks in English. Today, we are going to delve into direct speech or indirect speech, a very important aspect of grammar. This is not only important with regard to your examination, but it's very important with regard to learning communicative English or with regard to spoken English. Because if you have to speak good English, then you need to learn this. And if you learn direct and indirect language, almost you can speak impeccable English. Almost you can speak clear and good communication. The others would understand you better. Because if you do not know how to speak or how to if you have not understood direct and indirect speech, even your conversation wouldn't be very clear, and there is a possibility of others misunderstanding you. Hence, give importance to this grammar session or these videos. Secondly, as I said, when you learn these lessons, you have to pay a lot of attention to what is explained here. Unlike other lessons, it's not easy. You need to pay a lot of attention. Hence, when you watch these videos, please learn maximum, or please pay maximum attention to the explanation that is given over here. If you do not understand, please get back to me so that I will be able to explain to you in a different way as well. Hence, today let us study about direct language or indirect language, or direct and indirect language, or what we call reported speech. So what is the meaning of this reported speech and how we can understand this reported speech? All these things we will be studying today. Okay, so let's go over to reported speech or indirect speech. Now the first thing comes, what do you mean by reported speech, or what is indirect speech? The title itself makes it very clear. It is reported, means it is reported not by the speaker, by a third person. The direct speech, it is spoken by the speaker. Speaker has spoken it, and that speech is reported to us by another person. Then it becomes reported speech. In the direct speech, that is the speech or the words of the speaker, whereas in the indirect speech or in the reported speech, they are the words of the reporter. Hence, I'm sure by now you got the idea that in the direct speech, the words of the speaker, direct words are there. Whereas in the indirect speech, in the reported speech, we do not have the speaker there. We have the reporter. Hence, everything belongs to the reporter. What belongs to the reporter? The words belong to the reporter. The time belongs to the reporter. Sense belongs to the reporter. But he has to make the sense very clear to the readers or to the listeners. Whose job it is? The job of the reporter. The reporter has to make the sense of what is spoken very clear to the listener or to the reader. So remember, you are the reporter. Hence, you need to make the other person very, very clear about what you are going to report or what is reported. Right. Okay. Now, keep in mind the following while changing the direct speech into indirect speech. Meaning to say, we call them the simple rules, or I would call them the thumb rules. Thumb rules to understand what we are going to do today. Okay. What is that? Rule number 1 says, what is that? Look at here. Yes. Change of tense from present tense to corresponding past tense. Meaning to say, if the direct speech is in the present tense, when you report it, when you make it indirect, the tense changes. Tense changes to past tense. If it is simple present tense, it changes to simple past tense. If it is present continuous or progressive, it changes to past continuous or past progress. If it is present perfect, it changes to past perfect. If it is present perfect continuous, it changes to past perfect continuous. Now the next question comes, what about if it is in the past tense? Yeah, if it is in the simple past tense, it changes to past perfect. If it is in the past continuous, it changes to, well, remains past perfect. And if it is past perfect, again past. Okay, so please remember changes. When you see the examples, you will come to know. Second rule, okay, please see there, change of pronouns to third person. Next, I will be showing you some other PDF where you will understand this aspect very well. Usually when we speak, you see, I speak in first person because I speak, or you speak, that is second person. But the reporting is done by a third person, Remember, so always there is a pronoun or change of pronouns from first and second person to third person. If you say I, the reporting becomes he or she. Remember, if it is mine, reporting becomes his or hers. You remember? From the first person, the change or changeover takes place to third person. Number 3, introduction of that. Okay. Now, when you report, we need to add something. Okay. We need to add something. What is that? First, we add the demonstrative pronoun that. Where? Not everywhere. It is only if the given thing is a statement, okay, is a assertive sentence. Okay, the direct speech, if it is a statement, if it is an assertive sentence, then in the indirect speech we add that. Please remember, I will show you once again some other examples. If it is a yes or no type of question, okay, second one, okay, we introduce if or whether, not both, any one. Okay, either if or whether. If it is order or a request or a command, then we introduce, okay, the conjunction to. Okay, I will explain to you with some other examples later. Then next rule, please remember here, change of time indicators. Like in the direct speech, if you say now, in the indirect speech it changes to then. In the direct speech, if you say today, in the indirect speech it changes to that day. The direct day, yesterday, it becomes previous day, or the day before. Tomorrow becomes the next day or the day after. Here becomes there, this becomes that, these becomes those. Please remember this. And finally, all the punctuation symbols disappear, because in the direct speech we use them. It can be exclamatory mark, it can be question mark, okay, all these things, and inverted commas, they all disappear when they come to indirect speech. Okay. Now, another important thing is that I said about statement or questions or orders. How is that? Usually when we speak, when we communicate from one with another, okay, we speak or we communicate in statements. Statements. What do you mean by statements? Okay, you may call them assertive sentences in grammar. Okay, sometimes they could be exclamatory sentences. Now, what do you mean by statement? Where itself tells you here, it states a fact. It states a fact. A statement can be positive, a statement can be negative. For example, tomorrow is a holiday. See, I have asserted something. What is that? Tomorrow is a holiday. Or I have stated something. Tomorrow is a holiday. It could be negative. Tomorrow is not a holiday. Not a holiday. Again, I have stated something. What is that? It is not a holiday. I am hungry. I am hungry. See, I have stated something. It is a fact. Okay. I am 45 years old. See, I have stated something. It can be true or it can be false. It can be false, but it is a statement. It is an assertive sentence where I assert something. Please remember. So that is way. That's how I communicate. Second way of communication is in the form of questions. Now, when I say questions, there are two types of questions. One we call WH questions, and the other one we call yes or no type of questions. What do you mean by WH questions? WH questions are those questions where the question begins with WH. What do you mean by that? For example, what, where, when, why, which. Okay. How also is added to, though there is WH is not there, it is added to that category. So all the questions beginning with WH are called as WH questions. In addition, these WH questions are also called as closed questions. What do I mean by closed questions? Closed questions because once you answer the question gets closed. There isn't another answer for that. For example, okay, what is your name? Okay, you say, my name is Ashok. Even if you've got two names, my name is Ashok uh, Chandra. Okay, over. Even if you've got three names, my name is Ashok Chandra Naik. Now you see, all the three names are there. With that, it is over. There is no more chance to answer that question. It's over. So question gets closed. Okay, question gets closed. That's why we call it as a closed question. As opposed to that, you please go to the second one. We call it as yes or no type of question. I'm sure you guessed now. What do you mean by yes or no type of question? Okay, and yes is missing here. Yes or no type of question refers to where the answer to the question is either yes or no. The answer to the question is either yes or no, which means there are options. There is a choice. You could answer in yes or you could answer in no. For example, are you hungry? If you are hungry, you would say, yes, I am hungry. If you are not hungry, you would say, no, I am not hungry, which means you can say yes or you can say no. You can say no. That's why they are called as yes or no type of questions. And these questions are also called as open-ended question as opposed to closed questions. Why are they called open-ended question? I'm sure you understood, because the end is open for either yes or no. When I ask the question, you can answer me yes or you can answer me no, which means the end is open. That's why they are called yes or no type of questions. Whatever it is, let us keep in mind that we have got two types of questions, that is WH questions and yes or no type of question. And the third thing that we speak is in orders or commands or requests. You see, I've put them together because when we change them, transform them into indirect, it works out easier for us. Please remember, I can speak in orders. Get out of my classroom. See, that's an order. Bring me a glass of water. That's an order. Even my tone depends on that. At the same time, there could be a request. Please help me. Would you give me your pen? You see, request. Please help me. Will you help me? Will you come with me? All these are requests. So all these come under one category because the same procedure is used, or it's easy for us when we change them into indirect speech. So please remember, we speak in statements, we speak in questions, or we speak in orders or commands or request. Okay. Now this I already told you. When we change into indirect speech, please remember here, okay, when we change into indirect speech, in case of statements, I told you in the beginning in the general rules that for statements, we need to use that. In lower classes, everywhere we used to use that. But remember here, understand it properly, that the conjunction that is used if only we are going to change or we change the statements into indirect speech, which means nowhere else. If it is a WH question, you cannot use that. If it is a yes or no question, you cannot use that. If it is an order or a request, you cannot use that. That is used only if you are going to change a statement. Second, if you are going to change a WH question, you have nothing to add there. Please remember, you have nothing to add. Okay, nothing to add. Then if you are changing an yes or no type of question, you need to use either whether or if not both. Okay, anyone, whichever you are comfortable with. You could use if, you could use whether. Sometimes people, when they speak, they say suppose if. Both mean the same, cannot use. When you say suppose or if, similarly whether or if. Then if it is order and request, okay, or command, we use or we add the conjunction to. Please remember. Okay, again we will be going through this rule. Now before I go once again to these rules, I would like to show you some other rules. Okay, so that will help us. And this notes has been prepared by one of the lecturers belonging to our English forum, Mrs. Rupa Bhatt, and she has put it Very well. So I would once again take them to what are those general rules for transformation. Transformation from direct speech to indirect speech or reported speech. Now, can you see here? It says about reporting verb. What do you mean by reporting verb? Usually, said is changed to another different verb form depending upon the nature and content of the sentence. Okay. So, the reported speech, for example, told if object is there, informed or replied or asked or ordered. Okay. I will tell you in the example later with the example. You keep in mind there is something called reporting verb which is already given to us. Second, adding conjunctions. I told you what is that? Statement. Then you need to add that. If or whether in case it is yes or no type of question. Then infinitive to or imperative for imperative sentences like orders or command or request. Okay. The third thing I told you about change of pronouns. I told you first person pronouns and second person pronouns are changed into third person pronouns. First person I or my, mine, me. Plural is we, our or ours or us. Similarly, second person you, it remains the same in plural also, or your, yours or you. All are changed into third person singular. Please remember, first person and second person pronouns are changed into third person singular. Okay, this you have to keep in mind very much. Otherwise, the meaning becomes different. Then, change of words denoting nearness to time and place. I told you the symbols showing you time and place. Now is changed into then. Here is changed to there. This to that. These to those. Today to that day. Tomorrow, the next day or the following day. Yesterday, the day before or the previous day. Now the important aspect that I told you, change of tense. Okay. From present tense to past tense. Okay. Now see here, there is one condition here. If the reporting verb is in the present tense, the tense of the reported speech doesn't change. This is an exception to the rule. What is that? You need not worry with regard to PUC. In the exam, usually this thing is not there. But you need to know this. See, this is called the reporting verb. Can you see here? Reporting verb. And it is in the present tense. Little boy says, I am not playing with mobile. I am watching science lessons. Now see, when it's put into direct speech, indirect speech or reported speech, what is done here? Little boy says, it remains the same. It does not change. Then that is added, which means it is a statement. Then you see this, he is not playing with mobile. He is, which means the tense of the direct and the indirect is not changed. Why it is not changed? It because of this reporting verb, which is in the present tense. If it is in the present tense, it does not change. But as I told you, if it is in the past tense, then it changes. We will see in the examples next. If the reporting verb is in the future tense, the tense of the reported speech doesn't change. Okay. So, little boy will say, I am not playing with the mobile. I am watching the science lessons. Little boy will say that he is not. Again, the same rule applies here. But remember, this thing may not be there in your exam, may not be there, but it's important for you to understand. Now, how the change takes place? You see here, simple present tense, okay, changes to simple past tense. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. I told you all these things. Okay, right. Now, rest are exception to the rules, which is that already told you. In case, for example, here, you see, when the statement expresses the universal or general truth, then it doesn't change. Tense doesn't change. What is that? The elders said, you see, the given or the reporting verb is in the past tense. According to our first rule, the tense should change. But here it doesn't change. Why? Because what is given is a universal truth or a general truth. What is that? The nature will teach a lesson one day. Nature will teach a lesson one day does not change because it will teach a lesson. So, see in the indirect speech how it has become. The elders said that the nature will teach a lesson one day. You cannot change will into would because remember what is the reason? Though this is in past tense, but here it cannot change because this is a universal truth. In case of universal truth, the tense does not change. Please understand this. You may get confused, but I will clarify. Take the second example. The teacher said, virtue is always rewarded. So this is a universal truth. It cannot become false or it cannot change. It cannot be that it was right in 1985 and it is wrong in 2005. Please understand how it is done here. The teacher said that virtue is always rewarded, not virtue was always rewarded. Okay, why? It is a universal fact. Then, when the statement is relevant while reporting, it doesn't change. For example, what we say, if it is relevant to the time, then it doesn't change. What is that? See here, the Chinese said COVID-19 is caused by a virus. This is relevant for the time. So, no change of tense. The Chinese said that COVID-19 is caused by a virus. Cannot be COVID-19 was caused by a virus because it is relevant for the time. Maybe after 10 years, things may change. Then we will see because it is not relevant then. Or the boy said Narendra Modi is our Prime Minister. So this cannot be Narendra Modi was our Prime Minister. Why? It is relevant today. The boy said that Narendra Modi is our Prime Minister. It is true even now. Okay. So with this, we end with the rules and we now go for practice, and all that we have heard, things will become very clear for us. Okay. First, let us see how a statement can be changed into indirect speech. For example, Tamanna said, your husband is flourishing today as a rich man. Now please understand here, in this, we call this, what is that? Tamanna said. Tamanna said, okay, we call it as the reporting verb. Okay. Now, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, this is in the past tense. Okay, please understand, which means we need to change everything into past tense. Okay, we need to change everything into past tense. So, now given thing, first find out what is that. Is it a statement? Is it a yes or no question or WH question? What is that? It is a statement. Now remember, according to a previous rule, for a statement, we need to use that. Please see here, for statement, we need to introduce that. Okay, so what we do? Tamanna stated. Now why did I use the word stated? It's a statement. Can I say said? Yes. Can I say told? Yes. Take the one which suits well. This is what we mean by reporting verb. So you can use any reporting verb which suits there. Now here it was a statement, so I put state. Can I say said? You can say said. Told? Yes. Okay. You don't understand whether object is there or not. Better you say said. Okay. It's an umbrella term. So you are safe. So Tamanna stated that because it is a statement. Your husband, you see, your husband, this is a second person has been changed into third person, her husband. Then is present tense has been changed into past tense was. Flourishing today has been changed into that day, okay, as a rich man, that day or that time as a rich man. See, all the four rules are applied. Which are the four rules? First, change the pronoun, change the tense, okay, then change the time symbols. Have we done that? Okay, pronoun. So once you have answered, you need to ask these questions. Have I changed the tense? Have I changed the pronoun? Have I changed the time symbols? If you do this, you yourself know your answer is perfect. Shall we go to the second example? WH question. Now, see, Alifan. Now you see there is nothing said or told or nothing of that sort, which means that we have to understand. For example, Alifan, what is poetry? Now remember, this is a WH question. Now if it is a question, then the questions are always asked. Questions are not said. What is said? Statement is said. Questions, they are always asked. So, look at here. Alifano asked. See, which reporting verb have we put? The reporting verb is not given here, but we assume that reporting verb. So, and we put it, Alifano asked. You can't write it, Alifano said, because it's a question. Question is always asked. Question is always asked. Okay. Please remember, we use right word for the right place. Okay. So, Alifano asked. Whom did he ask? Borges. Now, but it is not given here. This is very, very important, because when you report, the whole sense has to be reported and the reader should get it very much clear. So, Alifano asked Borges what poetry was. Now, please see the change here. This helping verb, which was in the second position, has gone to third position. and poetry, object which was in the third position, has come to second position. Okay, so please remember, in WH questions, nothing else to add. Like in the previous we added that, here nothing to add, but the helping verb changes its position. Okay, object changes its position. Okay, Alifano asked Borges what the poetry was. I'll give you one more example. See this. He said, where are you from? Now, very interesting here. See, the reporting verb given is said. Okay, which means it's very clear to us we need to change it into past tense. But remember, here there is a question, where are you from? Hence, we don't write here said, but we write asked. This is our job. Why? A question is asked there, not a statement. So the reporting verb in the indirect speech becomes asked. Whom did he ask? Him or her? Okay, where are you from? The question was asked by anybody to him or her. It depends. Where he or she. Okay, you becomes he or she. Where she, see, are has become was here, past tense. Past tense. Okay, so please remember, here the helping verb are comes because the second person is here, whereas here he or she, third person, hence was. In other words, the tense of the helping verb has changed. Keep this in mind. Okay, and similarly the helping verb has changed its position from second position to third position. Please remember this. Okay, the sentence structure has to be proper. Go over to the third example. This time it is yes or no type of question. Okay, what is that? Gonzalo, do you want snuff? You see this? This is a yes or no type of question, which means answer could be, do you want snuff? Yes, I want, or no, I do not want. So please remember, in the example we had said, what is that? If it is a yes or no type of question, then we need to use whether, or if, anyone, not all the three. Okay, so let's say, do you want snuff? So Gonzalo asked Laura. See, remember, do you, it's a question. So asked Laura. Then if, or I have put both, you can use anyone. Let me use whether. Okay, cut if. So Gonzalo asked Laura whether she wanted snuff. See, you has been changed into she. Then do you want has been changed into past tense, wanted. Okay, do plus want, present tense. In the past tense it will be did plus want. Did plus want is equal to wanted, past tense, snuff. And you can see here inverted commas disappear, question mark disappears. I told you punctuation marks disappear when they come to indirect speech. Let's take one more example. She said, do you sneeze? Do you sneeze? Again, yes or no type of question. Okay, so inverted commas are there. What happens now? She asked, remember, she, though it is said here, we are using the word, the reported word, reporting verb as asked because it is a question. She asked him, you know very well in the lesson it was him, do you sneeze? Then since it's a WH question, we use whether or if, anyone. Okay, he sneezed, past tense is used, whether he sneezed. More examples we will deal. Now the last type, that is orders or request or exclamatory sentences. Okay, right. Minister, get away from the prison. Get away from the prison. Imagine it was an order. Okay, get away from the prison. So minister, see here, minister asked or commanded the prisoner or ordered the prisoner. See, when you do not know whether it is a commanded or order, I would say use the general term asked. Okay, even for questions when you do not know whether it is inquiry or whatever it is, please use the word asked, umbrella term, and it helps you, it solves your problem. So even here, okay, minister asked. If you're very sure that it is a command, write it commanded. If you're very sure it is an order, write order, because sometimes it need not be an order. The tone depends. We do not know the tone because it is in the written form. So best thing is to go for asked. So minister asked who? The prisoner to get away. See, the change is only to write that to imperative or conjunction to, nothing else. Get away from the prison. Remember this. Here that changing of the tense and all is not applicable at all. It doesn't come. Okay, so please remember, we just need to add to here. So for statements we add that. For WH questions we don't add anything. For yes or no questions, we have to add whether or if. And for orders or request or exclamatory sentences, we add to. Take for example one more thing. She said, please get some water for me. She said. Now, though it is given said there, okay, this is a request, isn't it? So in the indirect speech, we write it as she requested whom, him or her, anybody, what? To get some water for her. Now you may ask me, where is this word please gone? Please is here, because please means requested, so we put it in the request. Hence, please remember, when we change or transform a sentence into indirect speech, we need to give the right sense and the complete sense. Or sometimes certain words we may not be able to change them, but we need to change the sense, what they mean. For example, when somebody asks me, are you hungry? And I say, shake my head, or I say, how can I change into My my tone means yes. So when I change, okay, what is that? He said that he was hungry. Though my answer was only okay, when I change it, it becomes he said that, he told that he was hungry. You see, the sense has to come there. We will see further. Exclamatory sentence. What is that? He said, how strangely the things have changed. It's an exclamatory sentence. How strangely the things have changed. You see here, the answer is he said or he stated. Why? Exclamatory sentence is also a statement. So we use that. He said that or he stated that the things have changed very strangely, or things have changed strangely. Okay. So it is very easily done. Now, for your second PUC, it is not given in single sentences. Okay, the questions are given in paragraphs. One paragraph is given and you need to change the whole paragraph into indirect speech. And this paragraph usually contains a statement, a WH question, a yes or no type of question, an order or a request, whatever. Okay, let's go and take some examples and things would become very clear for us. Okay, this would be the same thing once again. For assertive sentence, okay, we have the reporting verb said. If it is a reply, given reply. If it is an explanation, given explained, added, pointed, declared, suggested, admitted. So it all depends on what is the statement about. For example, Gonzalo said, they have occupied my bench. It's a statement. So it is done as Gonzalo said that they remains same. They have has been changed into had. Okay. Then my bench has been changed into his bench. You see, only the helping verb has been changed from present tense to past tense, and the third person, okay, has changed from mine. Okay, my has changed into his. Okay, right. Go over to another example. Interrogative sentence. If it is a WH question, I told you nothing to add. So, Gonzalo, what do you wish? Gonzalo asked what she wished. Remember, what she wished. Okay. So, do has become actually did. Did refers to wished. Okay. Then, if it is yes or no type of question, have the priests gone? Answer is yes or no. Gonzalo asked if the priest had gone. Okay. Have gone has been changed into had gone. Okay. Now, let us take the examples. Now, see here, you have got one paragraph or a dialogue between Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo. What is that? Laura is asking, do you use a shoe brush as a handkerchief? Okay. The first thing you have to find out is, what is that? It is a statement, WH question or yes or no type of question. Now it reveals to us that it is a yes or no type of question. Next, Gonzalo, what right have you to criticize my action? Now this is a WH question. Laura, a neighbor's right. This is a statement. Gonzalo, I don't care to listen to nonsense. A statement. Laura, you are very polite. Again, a statement. Okay. Now let's see how the things are done here. You see, Donna Laura questioned, because do you use? It could be, as I said, the umbrella term would be, or the best term would be asked. It is safe for us. You can say questioned also. Donna Laura questioned whom? Don Gonzalo, because please remember, the reader has to get it very, very clear. Don Gonzalo. If, why if is used here? Because it is a WH question. Then he, okay, remember he because you, okay, then use the past tense used. Whether he used his shoe brush as a handkerchief. Okay, now you find something here, for which. Okay, what is this? This is called a connective device, or it is called a cohesive device, because you are connecting the previous sentence to the next one. Okay, so for which, okay, Gonzalo asked for, because she said something like that, Gonzalo is asking that question as a relation, as a connection. So he asked, okay, he asked her. See, her means what? Laura. You need not write once again Laura. It is already come in the beginning. Laura as to, okay, what right she had. What right have you has been changed into what right she had. Okay, to criticize my action has been changed into his action. See, question marks disappear. Okay, then Laura, a neighbor's right. Now it is a statement. So Laura replied. You see, we don't say said because it was a reply to that question. So Laura replied that because it is a statement. A neighbor's right. You see, neighbor's right is only a phrase, but when we write it into indirect speech, should be a complete sentence. Okay, a neighbor's right means what? You have just answered neighbor's right. Means I have a neighbor's right. So it is changed into she had a neighbor's right. This is what I meant, the sense or the complete sense. When we speak, we always speak in tidbits. When we always speak in phrases. But when we write, we have to write in sentences. So indirect speech is a complete sentence format. Okay, continue. Then Gonzalo, I don't care to listen to nonsense. It's a statement. So Gonzalo continued, because the conversation continues that because it's a statement. I don't care has been changed into he didn't care. Don't care, the past tense is didn't care to listen to nonsense. But then Laura says, you are very polite. But Laura remarked. You see, this reporting verb has been changed. Remarked here. What about said? Would have been okay, but the right word would be remark, because this is a positive remark that Laura is commenting upon. So it has been changed into remarked that because it is a statement. You are changed into he was. Who? Gonzalo. Very polite. Let's take one more example. Okay. Laura, are you coming tomorrow? What is this? This is a yes or no type of question. So what is done here? You see, Laura asked Gonzalo if he was coming the next day. Tomorrow has been changed into next day. Okay. Are you? He was. Okay. Answer, Gonzalo. Most certainly. Now see, once again an example is here. Most certainly I would come. But he does not say I would come. He just says most certainly. Okay. So how it is put it here? You see here, Gonzalo replied. So the reporting verb used here is replied. You could have said also, but replied suits better. Replied positively. What do you mean by positively? Positively means he would come. So in other words, you could have said Gonzalo replied that he would come the next day. But still there is continuation, and continued that, because all this is in the statement form, so that is required. Not only he would not scare away, not is missing here from that. This is a mistake, error. Not only he would not scare away the birds, but he would bring few crumbs. Okay. Then Laura, thank you very much. Now how to put thank you very much? Laura thanked him. Okay. You need not say Laura said thank you very much. Who? Thank him very much. See, confusion. Hence you put the sense of it. What is that? Laura thanked him. And birds are grateful and repay attention. Okay. And said that birds were grateful and repaid attention. Birds were grateful. Maybe you could have written birds are grateful and repay attention. Why? This is a statement, a universal statement. Usually birds are grateful and they repay attention, but you can change it into past tense as well. No worry. Take one more example. What is the example? Okay. Minister, why do you not run away? There is no guard to keep you. Now this is interesting. Here there is a WH question and a statement in the same sentence. So answer is, the Minister asked the criminal why he did not run away. Why do you not run away? Why he did not run away. Okay. And further he said, there was no guard to keep him. No guard to keep him. There is no guard has been changed into there was no guard to keep him. Criminal, I will not run away. The criminal here criminal replied that he would not run away. Will has been changed into would. Okay, the corresponding past tense. Okay, I have nowhere to go. So it has been changed into he said that he had nowhere to go. Okay, have has been changed into had. Okay, please remember have has been changed into had. Okay, and he continues. What is that? You have ruined my character by your sentence. He further said that, okay, or further blamed. It's a blame, isn't it? You could have used blamed also, no worry. But as I said is a general statement, general word or an umbrella term which can be applicable to any statement. Okay, said that, okay, you have has been changed into they because this you refers to all the ministers. So he changed into they. Have past tense. Had ruined my character has been changed into his character. By your sentence has been changed into by their sentence. See, it's very, very easy. Only thing is that you have to be very, very careful. Let's take one more example. What is that? Report the following conversation. Okay, this is between Johnito and Don Gonzalo. Johnito, can you sit here? This is a WH question. So, Johnito asked Gonzalo if he could sit here, sit there. You see, here has been changed into there. Okay, I want a bench to myself. This is a statement. So, Gonzalo said that he wanted a bench to himself. Don't say myself. Himself. Myself changed into himself. There are three priests sitting there. Then Johnito said it's a statement. There are, okay, has been changed into there were three priests sitting there. Okay, tell them to go away. See, tell them to go away. You can't say it is an order. It is not an order as such, but simple. So he says Gonzalo told or ordered. Order may not come so well. Told or, as I said earlier, asked will solve all our problems. Okay, so if you write asked, it will solve all your problems. Okay, please remember this, and asked will do much better. Okay, so Gonzalo asked Johnito to tell them to go away. Okay, to tell them to go away. Johnito, they are talking. It's a statement. So Johnito said that they were talking. They were talking. Let's take one more example. Report the following conversation. Roof, you know my work for Marcus. It will be very bad. Okay. Roof told the POP campaigner, because we know whom did he tell? POP campaigner. He knew his work for Marcus. He, who? Roof. You becomes he for Marcus. Okay. It will be very bad. It has been changed into it would be very bad. So the POP campaigners reply, what is that? Marcus will not be there at the time of putting in your vote. So the POP campaigner said Marcus would not be there at the time of putting in his vote. Okay, all these pronouns are very, very important. Otherwise, they give a different meaning. Please remember this. Then, roof. It will not be heard outside this room. Now, this is something interesting. What is that? Looks like a statement, but it is a, you see here, it is a yes or no type of question. It will not be heard outside this room. Okay, I am asking with a rising tone. So it is a yes or no type of question. So how it is put here? Roof asked the campaigner if or whether it would not be heard outside the room. Okay, we are afterwards, not gossip. So the campaigner reports said that they were afterwards and not gossip. You see, once again go through this and you will understand the changes that have taken place. And changes have taken place only in 4 fields. What is that? Addition of that if it is statement, or WH question nothing, if and whether if it is yes or no type of question, and 2 if it is an order or a request or exclamatory sentence. Secondly, change of pronouns major, and third, the change of tense, that is present tense to past tense or corresponding past tense. I think this should be the last one that we work out. With that, things should be very, very clear for us. Okay. What is that? Minister, why do you not run away? There is no guard to keep you. The prince will not mind. We already did this, but see here there are two or three statements. What is that? You see here, minister asked, okay, the minister asked or told the criminal to run away. Now you may find this. Here it is, why do you not run away? The meaning is, why do you, when I say why do you not run away, my meaning is to say run away. So you can put it that way. What is that? The sense of it, as like I have put it in the first part here. The minister asked the criminal to run away. Or as you can put, the minister asked the criminal, why wouldn't he run away? Both are right. Both are right. In the first part, you have put the sense. In the second part, you have put it or transformed it as it was asked. You are free. I give you this example so that you have the option. Okay, then it continues. What was that? There was no guard to keep you. Further, he told him that there was no guard to keep him, and the prince would not mind him going. The prince will not mind. What will not mind? Will not mind him going. You see, once again, I have added the sense here, which was not there in the given part here. But the sense, because when you change into indirect speech, the sense has to be complete. Remember this. Okay. See the second example. Okay. Minister, the cost of execution will be 16,000 francs. Okay. The minister reported that because the inquiry was asked, it was asked to French government. So they reply. So it is said, the minister reports. The reporting verb we have used is report. What is the other option? Said. As I said, said is a safe one, general term, but report would be exact. The minister reported that the cost of the execution would be, that is, will be, has been changed into would be 16,000 francs. Further, the wretch is not worth the money. The prince said that or commented that. You see, you can use the word commented that. Okay, the wretch was not worth the money. The wretch was not worth. Okay, then further, can't it be done somehow cheaper? See, it's a yes or no type of question. So he asked, who? The prince asked, if that could be done in a cheaper way somehow. Okay, can't it be done has been changed into if that could be done somehow cheaper way. Okay. Right, then 16,000 francs is more than 2 francs ahead on the whole population. Further, because the same person is talking here, so we are using the cohesive devices, connecting devices. Further, he said that 16,000 francs was more than 2 francs ahead on the whole population. And finally, the people will not stand it. The people would not stand that, or even you can say the people would not stand it. With this, it will be very much sure and things will be very complete. I hope you have understood. Please go through the video, view the video again and again, and especially understand those 4 rules in the beginning. And when you go through the example, see the changes that have taken place. With that, things would be very clear to you. I hope with this, your spoken English will be better. And if you practice speaking in this way, you will learn direct, indirect speech very easily. So please develop the habit of speaking, communicating in English. With that, automatically you would learn even indirect speech. Thank you very much.